once again, welcome back to Plot.
Okay, right, well, good afternoon everybody. Once again, welcome back to Pot. I've just managed to get the garden for a half an hour in between showers. It's been absolutely hopeless this last week. Cloud, rain. It's been warm, but we've had a couple of decent days over the last couple of weeks, but not much. As I posted on my Facebook page the other night, I've had a bit of problems with my computer. Bit of a meltdown with my base unit, so I haven't been able to do any recordings, and of course it's the only computer upstairs that I've got my programs and I do the video editing and whatnot, and hopefully Carl Nolan, one of the lads on the site's going to sort us out with another new program. He's busy getting it sorted out and getting it sent up to us, but I think on one of my old laptops I'm going to get that out, and I think I've still got a copy of the program on there. If not, well, I'll just wait until Carl sends up the new one, and I'll get their video editing. It's been a few weeks, but I've had a busy few weeks. I've had a grandson up for a week from Lincolnshire, so I haven't get much done then. And the week before was absolutely chronic with the rain and that. But we've been plodding on. Me and my job, been getting bits and pieces done. And as I say, I like to try and keep in touch with these on my Facebook page, just posting bits and pieces. The weather, well, it is what it is. You know, we're kind of complaining. We've just got to go with the flow. If you remember the last video, we cleaned all this tunnel out. We've got the Jap onions out. Great crop, garlic. You know, they weren't too big, but they were nice. So and they're good size for the kitchen. That's quite happy with that. The parsnips are still left in. We've got 2 rows of parsnips in that I sowed in between the onions. I hate wasting space. And of course, what I've done over the last couple of weeks, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I sowed these are the winter cabbage, the giant kings, and that's the size you want really. It's a perfect plant, and that's only 5 weeks old. I start them off at this size, and they were just sown 8 days ago. And these are the Wheelers Imperial, and these are the spring cabbage. I've got the Durham Earlies, and I've got Wheelers Imperial. I've got the Durham Earlies down there. And they're just in the cold greenhouse here. No special protection. What I have done this year, I haven't put them on trays because last year I had all my spring bedding on the top here. And I had them sitting on trays, and of course it lashed on. I had been in the hospital for a couple of weeks. And then absolutely the heavens opened. And of course all the trays were full of water. So when I come back and I finally got back to the plot, I realised my mistake. I took all the plants off the trays and let them dry out a bit. But we did save most of them. Like we lost quite a few wallflowers and whatnot that had just dampened off in the water. But that's one of the main things that you don't have to really worry about in the summer, is what you do in the springtime. As I say, this video is all about sowing and what to do, what not to do, what we do anyway. But that's our spring cabbage, and it's just at the right size for pricking off. We'll be pricking these off sometime within the next week to the next fortnight, and we'll get them to that size hopefully in about September. And we're going to come to the end of July, so if they're in trays for another week till the end of July, and then we'll give them 4 weeks in their pots. I mean, I really like to see the pots full of root. Another 4 weeks in them and they'll be fine. That brings them into September. They'll be great for planting out, either outside in the border or under the polytunnel. Hopefully we might have a bit of space in the polytunnel by then. With bits and pieces coming out. We've got a few onions that were planted in there, a few odd tomatoes that we had left, the sweet corn. But we'll find space for them anyway. But that's the way we like them. What I do like to do is when I'm planting these, is to save the old rhubarb leaves. Let them dry out for a day or two. When you chop your rhubarb off, put your leaves in the greenhouse, let them wilt down a bit, and then wrap that in a rhubarb leaf and plant it. And that'll give you some great protection from any diseases that you have in the soil, especially clubroot. cabbage would fly, anything like that. Wrap your rhubarb leaf around it and then plant it as it is, and it'll give you some great protection. That's a couple of tips for them. As you can see, I've got 2 rows here, winter cabbage. Now they'll be cropping around about December time, January time. We'll get them out, and then the bed will come empty. Apart from the parsnips, we'll be using the parsnips up from right through till November, through to March. I like to see a bit of frost on them. Same as the sprouts, I like to see a little bit of frost on them. Excuse me, before we start harvesting. But this greenhouse has been fantastic. We've had quite a few crops out of here. You just heard a little voice here, but I often wonder where they're coming from, the sounds. But it's quiet up here this afternoon. Say the rain's on enough, so there'll not be so many people on the plot today. But I'm going to crack on anyway. What I want to do is to just show you in the far greenhouse the tomatoes. We had 2 varieties. We put the Akron in. The Akron weren't bad. I left a few of the small tomatoes on because what I normally do, I cut the trusses down to get 3 or 4 nice size and cut any smaller ones off around them. And I never done that. I just left them because it's the first time growing them. They seem to be doing quite well down home, but then they stopped growing for some reason, whether it be the weather or what. But the ones that have stood out this year has been the Fantasio. I'll show you them in a minute, and they're an absolute marvellous crop. I think they're a moneymaker type, but they're marvellous tomatoes, some lovely size in them, and of course they're a nice colour. And the all important thing is it tastes absolutely fantastic. So that's a tomato I'm going to be growing next year alongside my moneymaker, my gardener's delight, and the few bits and pieces that I already grow. I normally stick to about 5 varieties now. That's a lot down from last year and the year before. We usually have about 10 varieties of tomatoes, but we've cut right back this year. And we're quite happy with what we've got. The moneymaker down there, the Elsa Craig, are growing absolutely marvellous. Lovely tomatoes in them. I've got one golden orange tomato down there, the cherry one. It's been cropping quite well. It was the first one to give some decent fruits off. Not much in a taste line, so I'll not be growing them again next year. I think I'll go back to Tumbling Tom, which was a marvellous tomato. We did, a couple of years ago, we did a test, and the first tomato was properly ripened, and we tried it. It was a Tumbling Tom variety, grown on the bench in the melon house, and we picked that the first week in June. Now the tomatoes here, it's been the second week in July before we got any decent tomatoes off here. So we're nearly 6 weeks behind a couple of years ago, and it just shows you the difference in the weather patterns. Absolutely horrendous. But there again, we'll get by there and there. So I've left them seedlings here. I just thought I'd show you them. That's now this my mix. It's in a 3-2-1 mix. Now, there is a few weeds growing amongst it, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean by weeds. Now this is my own mix. I make this up every year, and especially for cabbages and stuff like that, I'll put in a 3-2-1 mix. There is a few seedlings that I will grow, the likes of not polyanthus. I'll show you them in a minute. I'll go through the seeds. I've got sweet orange, wallflowers. I'll sow in this mixture because when you're starting from scratch, if you don't know your seeds, if you don't know your weeds from your seeds, and then you're going to have problems. But that's why sometimes I'll just sow in a multi-purpose compost, just a plain compost. I'll add a bit perlite, or I'll add a bit sharp sand, nice free draining, give it good free draining, and then it sits on my trays with newspaper on, and it just acts like a sponge. I can water from down below. I never have to water the tops at all. These have been watered in the tops because the rain's coming through the roof. And then apart from the occasional spraying, we'll get into spraying when we get over to that greenhouse here. We'll get into that greenhouse over there. But for the time being, we'll shut this down and we'll just move across. Okay. Okay. Right. Well, we're back in the glass greenhouse. I don't know if you can see them here. These are the Fantasio tomatoes. Absolutely first class, marvellous. Really good size in them. Nice big fruits. And got good ripening on them, so I'm rather pleased with them. I'll just turn that around. It's tripod's absolutely hopeless at the moment, but the sun's out again there now. It's absolutely baking up here now. It was teeming down before showers. Right, so peppers and chilies. We've got a bit of trouble with the old fly the other week, and of course there's a few holes bit in, flea beetle. So what I did, and what I'm hoping to be doing over the next couple of days, is starting to trim these back a bit. Now with me peppers, I normally stop them when they get to a decent size, pinch your heads out and let them sprout off, let them shoot off, so I keep them really low. This year I didn't have to bother because I seen them, they started breaking away themselves, splitting away from the top and forming a multi-heads. And of course I'm quite chuffed for the size, because in here I'm on the bench and I don't want them getting too tall for hitting the glass. But what I'm going to have to do is go around here and start nipping some of these off, some of the little immature fruits that I find on them, and just leave enough. If you just take your time, you can just pull them off. Little immature fruits here. Leave the growth on. Just work your way around. You can see all the little ones that's coming on the top there. Nip them off, just finger and thumb, and just leave the ones on that you want. There's some little ones there, unripened. And there's a couple on this side here. Knock all them off, and the flower. Any flowers on, so you don't need them. That can come off. That's just a small one. Nip that off, and there we have it. We've got about 6, 8, 9 fruits, really nice fruits on there, and quite happy with them. Now, of course, they're getting well fed at the moment. Once a week, just a tomato feed. If you haven't got your own barrels like we've got the nettle juice and the comfrey juice mixed, and I'll be giving them a feed of that once a week. And what I want to do this week, I want to top up the pots with some fresh compost, because they're way down there at the moment. These are ring culture pots, and what they're doing, are just sitting on my trays, which is full of newspaper. There's another one there. If I can just watch it there. There's another one there. I'm going to have to clean that down. That one had a few holes in it with a flea beetle. Hold them up. Quite a weight. Now what we did, me and Roger, when we started with our rhubarb, we made us a little rhubarb juice up, and we'll give them a damn good spraying, and that done the trick. As you can see, the tops are nice and green there. There is a few immature little flowers on, but just pick them off, and that stops them growing. Don't have to nip them out at all, and just let them chilies and the peppers grow away. First class. Like I say, the only job I've got to do this week is some nice fresh compost. It's about 2 inches down in that pot. I'm going to fill it right up, and then we can carry on feeding. And the top roots will get a nice feeding. Oh, this is one of them here. I left this because a fortnight ago I had noticed this, and I thought, well, I'll use this for in the next video. And of course, it's been that long, it's just been growing wild. The ears, actually, if you look, there's a pepper there. I can get a hold of it and turn it. That's a pepper there. Now I just left this to grow, and just to let you see what I mean by using your own compost. This is multi-purpose. This is my own 3-2-1 mix. And then when I mention about seeds growing in it, well, there you are. There's absolutely thousands. And they're tomato seed out my own compost stuff last year. And of course, all our tomatoes, just any soft ones that drop off, just get thrown into the compost, and that's the result. We struggle, and I mean struggle at times, when we're planting in March to get our tomato seeds to come through. And lo and behold, Mother Nature does it all by herself. Don't have to bother whatsoever. As long as she's got the warmth, and she's got the moisture, and she's got the sun, and she'll do everything for you. Albeit in her own speed, but That's what you can expect from a really first-class compost. And that's what the 3-2-1 mix is. Now we can go back on some of the old computers, on some of the old videos, and find out how I make the mixture. But this is just pure seedlings grown away in the 3-2-1 mix. Look at them, absolutely marvellous. You could plant them up and you'd probably get a first truss out of them before you'd have to stop them. But we've got, I think we've got about 60 or 80 tomato plants on the plot at the moment, so we don't need any more. It's a shame, but that's just going to show you how Mother Nature does it. A lot of proggles amongst it. That pot's just about empty here now. And there, lo and behold, there's the one plant that's in there. I'll give that a good drink now that I've taken all them. Put that down there. I'll give it a good drink of water. And that's just out of one pot. Amazing. But it just goes to show you. Know your weeds from your seeds. And they'll grow like mad in the 3-2-1 mix. But if we want to start planting the seeds, it's going to be totally different. I've got my multi-purpose compost in there. I've got my perlite. I've got some sharp sand. I'll make my own mixture up, and that's all will go in there. And there'll be no weeds whatsoever. I mean, I don't mind weeds going through my 3-2-1 mix because, as I say, once you know the difference between your weeds and your seeds, you can just pull them out. The difference with mine, I don't have to put any feed whatsoever. Everything's in the compost there, and they'll just grow away until they're a good size for potting off, and they get all that nourishment out of the mixture that I've made up. I don't have to give any extra feed, and I've used it for years. Must be 20 years now, and I've never had a failure from it yet. All these tomatoes are planted in 3-2-1 mix, and they're absolutely first class of crop. Cucumbers grown away, marvellous, and we'll love it. But that's it. I'll give you a good feeding, a good watering. We'll maybe do another spraying this weekend. If it cools down, we'll get a bit shelter from the sun. I'll make up another rhubarb mix. It's so easy to use, just a couple of rhubarb leaves, scrunch them up in a pan, a litre of water, boil them down, get them nice and soft, nice and mushy, let it cool down, strain it off, get it into your let it boil for about 20 minutes, and you should be left with about half a litre of water or juice. Pour that juice into your spray, make it up with some fresh water, nice cool water, and add a couple of drops of soapy water. Washing up liquid is great. A few drops of that in, and you've got a first class mix for spraying, especially for the flies and beetle fly. Great. Get a soil around it, a good spraying, and get the plants itself a good spraying. We sprayed these about 4 weeks ago, and they've been as clear as anything ever since then. But I'm going to give them another one just to keep on top of them. I'll keep checking the leaves underneath, they're nice and clean. And of course, the fruit is absolutely amazing. I just want a good feeding now. And say tomatoes are growing away really well. So what I'm going to do at the end of this video, I'm going to crack on with some spring flowering seeds. We'll get them in. I've got the cabbages. Showed you how to do the cabbage. Get them planted now. Get your spring cabbage. Get them in. It's quite easy to sow them. We just broadcast them. Sow them broadcast on top of a tray. Any amount of trays, different sizes. Always read your seed packet. Your seed packet will tell you how many's in, what seed count you've got, from 50 to 200 to 300. Use your seed trays to the size that you've got, the amount of seed you've got. Now when we'll start doing the like the pansy tomorrow, we'll do them in multi-drills in a standard seed tray, and that's where I do all my small seeds. But we'll do that at the end of this video. Okay, so I hope the sun's out tomorrow afternoon when we finish off this video, and hopefully tomorrow night I'll check on my old laptop. If I've got the program, I'll run it and see what it's like. I don't fancy using that new Clip Champ. It's a little bit different from the program I use, but if I have to, I'll use that one and I'll get this video online. Okay, so I'll see you all again soon.